200 years ago, the first colonist ship arrived to Nessus, your ancestors. The landing was not smooth, many lives were lost, technology and resources destroyed. The colonists had very little of the supplies that were intended to build a home and starport. Most notably absent was the Ansible. The colony was without a way to contact their homeworld, ask for support, or guide future colonists to their location. Based on the information available to the homeworld, the most reasonable assumption is that the planet is non-habitable and no future missions will be sent through the series of wormholes that got you to this isolated part of the universe. However, the planet appears to be much more habitable than predicted, with breathable air and similar gravity to the homeworld. Since arrival, the people have done their best to survive using whatever means available to them. Using the natural resource, each player chooses one. Aided occasionally with a salvage technology, each player chooses one. The colonists have been moderately successful at growing food and medicine, building homes, and even entertaining themselves. Each player is making up a thing that exists on this world and a thing that is brought from the home world. Andy, Schooly, and I have already done that. Andy, you want to tell us about the things that you've created?
Yeah, sure. So the the natural resource on this planet that I created is called a catkin, and it is a pony-sized cat that eats anything like goats, lays eggs like chickens, tastes like bacon, and has a propensity towards domestication like dogs. So they're the ultimate livestock.
Yeah, holy shit, that rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I included in here a cave drawing like image that kind of depicts what you should imagine when you think of a catkin. And then the surviving technology in the crash is a device called the Neuralink, which allows you to send and receive ideas, memories, consciousness, basically brain stuff to an external hard drive. But unfortunately, the only thing that came preloaded in the Neuralink is the complete series of WKRP in Cincinnati.
I was gonna watch those because I actually have no idea what that is in preparation for this, but I forgot.
That's what I was doing 10 minutes ago. I was watching a highlights YouTube. There's some pretty. I've got some lines loaded up and ready to go. You won't get them, but my viewers who are here for the WKRP in Cincinnati content, they'll know.
Nice.
Finally, the WKRP crossover episode.
Exactly. I don't know why I picked this show. I should have picked a show I know better. But anyway, yeah. So those are my creations. I kind of went ham with it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and then everything that we invent again is going to be put on the map. I don't know if it's a map so much as like a, what do tech companies call them? Vision board.
Yeah, mood board.
Yeah.
Maybe world board.
World board. So I added a solar-powered rover and a species of tree with an extremely sticky adhesive sap, which is nicknamed Sovereign Sap by a nerdy engineer.
Interesting.
In the 200 years we've been here, have they invented some sort of solvent that removes said sap?
No. This is the 200 years was supposed to be the gap between this game and the 5e game.
Okay.
Although,
so just got here and someone, oh, this is sticky, and they just now have like a piece of bark stuck to their hand forever. Or
yeah,
until
I think
their
this
skin
is
sloughs off.
This is like the end of week 1 or something that we are beginning now.
Okay, well, I am bringing the abundant resource, a metal discovered on the. What?
They're not abundant.
That exists on the planet. That does not use keyword bold, italicized word abundant. A metal called electrium that is, can be molded into like rope-like structures that, when current is applied through them, go rigid and difficult to move. If anyone has read the Red Rising series, they are like the razors from there, but I'm not getting any nods, so never mind. And then the surviving technology was what essentially, like, stimulants for warfighters that enhance perception, dull pain, and are extremely addictive if
Nice.
used too often.
I mean, that seems pretty reasonable for like a interstellar voyage, and the demands put on individuals for that.
Yeah. But can be very addictive if used too often. The sort of thing where the doctor is like, okay, only like once a day, and you're like, okay, whole bottle into your mouth.
Schooly, can you
snort it?
Schooly, can you put a electrum mine on our map here and a little icon for a pile of stim packs?
Yeah. Wait, what's the
Nope,
the
I do
sound in
not.
StarCraft? It's like
Yeah, we should definitely get a soundboard.
yes.
Yeah, you're welcome to Google image search, draw, or put in a wave file for to represent your item.
I do like to keep it wavy.
Daniel, it looks like you got some stuff over there.
Yeah. So I don't have images for it yet. So the thing we got with us is it's an AI basically on the ship. I guess it's on like a little hard drive or something, but that seems relatively intact, though this AI was like networked across a fair amount of hardware, and we've only got some of it.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Yeah. On the ship, it basically just like ran the doors and like ran the little cleaning robots and stuff like that. But like just the way the technology works, the easiest way to do this is with a general purpose AI, right? So it can, in theory, sort of do everything and knows everything. Its incentives, to the extent that they're preserved in like what we extracted of it, is just around sort of tidying and sort of clerical tasks. So this thing has a lot of potential if we can it can tell us how to build a rocket out of here. It can recreate the entire history of faster than light travel, but like in theory, who knows if we can actually get that out of it or not.
But for now, it's more concerned with Roomba pathing.
Roomba pathing, and it's also not clear what it's going to do under these sets of circumstances. These things, like some shit happens, and like 25% of the time they go rampant, and it's just a shit show, right? So, I don't know, Jamie, you can edit that as you want.
Nope, I am not the DM of this game. I will be the DM of the next game, but I only have equal power as to everyone else at this point. I do, yeah.
You don't have agile coach powers.
Yeah, I'm not an agile coach. I'm imagining that there's like some like very particular error with it because of the the materials lost, where it has to like repeat things like 12 times every time it says anything or something.
Yep. There are a lot of directions we could go, I think. And then the other thing is, it's a sort of it's not quite like any like life we have on Earth, except maybe those like forests that are all actually the same tree, or maybe like an ant colony or something. But if you put a like a embryo or something like that in there, it'll sort of incubate it and sustain it, or like a a grown person. We discovered this maybe because we put somebody who was injured in there and they were eventually healed. Not
Bacta
clear.
tanks.
Hmm?
Bacta tanks.
Yeah, sounds kind of similar.
This is
And
like a plant.
it's a big. It's sort of like it's like a moss or a lichen, I think. But
Cool.
It's a colony of some kind.
yeah, it's a colony of some kind or something like that. And we don't know why it does this. Like in nature, life forms usually do things for their own benefits so we don't know why it will incubate, put someone in it and takes care of them. Why would it do that for us? But anyway, so those are my things.
Nice. And the how the turntables of me not being the DM anymore is you guys all have to come up with names for your shit.
Okay.
Matt, you got some stuff?
Yeah. So I think for the thing that is here, or the thing that's on the planet, I think it's a small. It's not clear if it's like an insect or like a, it's like probably an insect, but it also sort of looks like a small piece of plant matter. But it also like, we haven't been able to figure out exactly like, does it have eyes? Does it have legs? Like, it's clearly like alive in some way, but it doesn't really look, it doesn't have like the features that we associate with life, like, like sort of legs, eyes, face, like not quite sure how it eats or like what it, where it gets its energy, but like, they're small, maybe like ladybug sized, a little smaller, sort of, shiny bug looking things. And it turns out that they're really good at like decomposing things. So like, if you put them on trash, they will basically like make the trash disappear. But also like you can mash them up into a like super nutrient rich paste. Like, it's like basically like vitamins or like, sort of like nutrient goo. You can use them to dye stuff as well. Like they're like super purple, but like depending on what you mix them with, you can change the color really easily. They're also they can be used as like a mortar or sort of like a construction material as well, like like clay or mortar or whatever, and like it'll cure really hard. So there's sort of like an omni-purpose bug that you can basically make mostly like construction materials out of. But like people are also sort of treat it like a patent medicine. They're like, oh yeah, like you can put it on an injury and it'll like make your injury better. Like you can drink it and it'll make you feel. And it's like it's unclear which of these things are sort of like bullshit and which actually seem to work, because like it does seem to work for a lot of stuff, but also people seem like really excited to basically use it for anything they can.
Nice.
So like it's also a fuel. Like you can get energy from you can like mash them up and like throw them in your gas tank and or like build like a battery out of them. So yeah, I don't know what we would call them. Maybe just like omnibug.
Okay.
I will say omnibug for now.
Omnibug.
My mic isn't working. Oh, now you can hear me. I was thinking when you were describing it, I was thinking like of a panacea.
Yeah.
You could mash those words together or whatever, but
Omnibug.
it's your thing.
Panacea might.
Nice.
Well, I can come up with a better name later if you want. And for the thing from the ship, oh boy, that is a good question.
Ant farms to breed panacea bugs.
How convenient.
uh,
The thing from the ship is a +3 plate armor.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. A scroll of wish. Hmm.
And it, it doesn't have to be a super crazy thing.
Yeah.
It could just be like a food replicator or a crazy farming device or a big old sword.
Oh, I don't know, maybe it's sort of mundane, but like I'd say like a VR chamber. Yeah, actually, basically like the holodeck in Star Trek, like a super realistic like VR simulation chamber. That's like capable of very, very realistically simulating all sorts of stuff, potentially even convincingly enough that it can injure you, but most people just use it for this one video game that was super popular when everyone left. And like everyone on the ship is still playing that, even though it is probably like, not at all trendy anymore in the real world and much better things exist. And porn.
Nice.
And like you could use it to like learn how to like learn jujitsu to like an incredibly skilled degree, or like learn how to like fabricate electronics and stuff. But like basically people just use it for like one video game and porn.
Does it plug into the Neuralink? Does it interact with the Neuralink?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I'm
Ooh.
imagining Neuralink, Sweepy Clean, and whatever this thing is are all kind of the same thing.
Yes. I don't know if it plugs into the Neuralink. Does that violate the like limited content concept of the Neuralink?
Uh,
How do you feel about that, Andy?
so your so the Neuralink would like give you interacting with the Neuralink would like give you the memory of having done something. So think in your case,
I guess the VR thing is maybe more of a real-time thing. Like someone could send a recording of being in the VR via Neuralink. But
yeah, right. Like this is what happened when I played. Let me stream my VR
yes.
to the Neuralink. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Does the Neuralink, does its contents get read in real time? Like you put it on and
No.
you watch WKRP, or is
No.
it just like,
it's just
oh
a
yeah,
database.
I remember watching that.
Exactly.
Like,
Yep.
with the same fallibility of our own memories, sort of fade over time.
Yeah, fade over time. So as soon as you upload it, you've got a perfect memory of it, and
It'd be like you just watched a 30-minute episode in a millisecond.
right. Yeah, the whole series in a millisecond. For example.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as you stop thinking about it, it starts to fade, and so you have to continue to exercise those memories to retain them.
Okay, whereas the VR is more like real time.
Right.
This is it goggles? Is it brain connection? Is it like a whole haptic suit? What are we looking at for?
The Neuralink is temple nodes.
And how about the VR stuff? How do you interface with it?
It is a room that you stand in.
Oh, a whole room survived the crash.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Contained by particular fibers to project the thing, and those are pretty bouncy.
Yeah, actually, maybe it is a fabric, and you can just put the fabric on the walls of a room. Like you just sort of like spread the fabric out on the surfaces of a space, and then it can project.
Just drape green
project
screen
into that
around you.
space. Yes, basically. So like if you really wanted, you could just like basically wrap a tube around yourself and like it'd be a little bit more constricted, but yeah, it is a fabric.
Okay. So the there's 2 things we need to do before we actually start playing. The first is to describe, it says, before the game begins, we must establish some facts about the community and what its surroundings are like. We begin with a brief discussion of the general terrain and habitat of the area. This can be as simple as someone saying, how about a community in a rocky desert? And everyone nodding in agreement.
How about a community in a rocky desert? No.
I hate it.
I mean, I already put a tree here, so I was imagining a forest, I guess.
That's true.
Is it deciduous or coniferous?
It's its own freaky alien thing.
Freaky dicky. What about like a lunar style surface where it's very ridden with craters and like the dirt is like it's very dusty. Or something else.
I can get into some dust. I think the cats and the trees to me say that it's more like jungly.
Yeah.
There's giant cats and a moss colony. So I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so like Endor, we're going Endor.
We're going Endor.
Endor.
Okay.
Full
I can
Endor.
fuck with Endor.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Is this whole planet, or is this just like part of the planet that we crashed on?
Yeah, true. It's not fucking Star Wars. The whole planet is not one biome. It's diverse.
Well,
we are currently in Endor.
Okay.
I presume that any civilization that crashes here and goes to find a good place to set up camp would probably find something, trees, running water, somewhere around there. Like basic survival needs.
Yeah, we were shooting for Endor.
Yeah.
Next, we declare an important resource for the community, something we might have in either abundance or scarcity. Some examples are clean drinking water, a source of energy, protection from predators, adequate shelter, and food. Choosing a resource makes it important, if it wasn't already. If you pick a gasoline, it becomes something that your community wants and needs. So, these can be anything, like food could be on there or not, and if food's not on there, then it's like food, whatever. People aren't really worried about food.
Okay.
But I think we're supposed to choose like 4 of them or 5 of them. And these can also be the things that we've already listed. But I feel like some of these things are like, overly specific to be like the resource that, the game is concerned with.
Are we brainstorming individually or are we discussing?
I think each player chooses one as an option. I don't know if it specifies in the rules.
How about if we coordinate a little first, just so we don't all choose food or something?
I mean, I already said I think water would be important to find because you can eat a lot of things, but water can be tricky. And if we're like crashing towards a planet, it's like, oh, aim for the blue part, kind of getting near some sort of water. Whether it's drinkable or it needs filtered, I would just think like water in some sort of abundance.
Cool. I like it.
Water, food, oxygen, and then like if we need to do temperature regulation, I don't know. And then just like energy generally. I don't know if that's something. If we've got stuff we need to power. I assume we got all this electronics.
I mean, we got the Bibble Mites. They can power things. You just mash them up into a slurry, and
Are they energy dense enough to do solar?
Yeah.
Or, yes, we got some chemical fuel.
Also, by the rules of the game, only one of these things can be in abundance to begin with.
Ah.
So, which means that everything else would be in scarcity.
Mhm.
What a day!
So
I
I think
oxygen.
I think water's good. I think food would probably be in abundance due to the catkins, or energy would also be in abundance due to the mites. So maybe just one of those, and then the other is just like, you know, kind of written off.
We have made a few.
Cool. I mean, I feel like water would probably be the most important decision making. Although I guess maybe if we didn't choose our crash landing.
What a day!
I mean, if we're
love
talking
oxygen.
abundance in terms of just like sheer volume, I would imagine ladybugs that we use for energy, you would need to set up like farms or something like that. I don't think there's going to be an abundance of ladybugs around.
Mhm.
We can say
Big
like
cat.
they found a couple, and
Yeah.
they're like,
Someone
holy
ate
shit,
one.
these things are amazing. Let's find more
Yeah.
of them. But that hasn't necessarily happened.
Yeah.
All right, water, energy, food. I think oxygen is like just kind of written off.
Yeah,
the planet's
but-
breathable.
Right. That was in the
And/or
input text, I
provides.
think.
Sunlight? Like humans generally need. I mean, I guess maybe there'd be like, you know, vitamins for this and stuff. But you know, like we have circadian rhythms.
We have a solar-powered
we
rover
need-
too.
We need vitamin D. We have a solar powered rover. Like maybe it's a situation where it's like, oh, you want sunlight? Well, how about like, you know, like blazingly hot solar radiation, like, you know,
Oh,
like 18 hours a day, and then like bitter, you know, like on less habitable planets, that will be like super cold and then super hot. But like, yes, technically there is sunlight.
I kind of like
I
that.
think-
Maybe the overgrowth or the jungle, you know, like in the rainforest, like there is incredible competition for a little bit of sunlight. Like, you know, there are all these different stories and these organisms who figure out how to grow on the roof of it, and every tree wants to be the tallest. So it could be there's some situation like that that's protecting us from the worst of the solar radiation, but also kind of filtering out the sunlight.
Oh yeah, that's yes. I think that's a cool idea.
Maybe one more.
Let's see.
I think like maybe the malleable metal stuff. What's it called again? Electrum?
Electria.
Yeah, I think we can just put that on there.
Go for it. Something with which to try and fashion tools or structures.
Or yeah, we could just say like building materials in general.
Yeah.
That being one of them.
Yeah, and that could be a
Maybe-
subset, you know.
Maybe if it is, you know, if there's lots of like tree type things, perhaps their wood or bark are like very poor building materials. They're like, you know, really knotty or like actually like super acidic and will like, you know, melt things over long periods of time if you try and like, you know, attach them, like put fasteners in or something.
Yeah. Or they start screaming if you if one of them starts screaming and all the other trees start screaming too. It's like, you know, dogs
People
are
like that.
Chopping me! Ah!
Yeah.
So only one of these can be in abundance. Which one is it?
Okay, first though, which is worse? A tree that screams when you chop it or a tree that moans when you chop it?
Oh.
Oh yes, daddy.
Yeah. Good question. Probably
Wow, that's my
screams.
would you rather list.
I feel like the
Yeah, that's
louder
good.
one. The louder one would probably be worse.
maybe it's not a screaming, like just something very unpleasant.
So which of these is in abundance?
What are we? Yeah, what are we shooting for? Like, water seems like the most obvious to be in abundance if there were somewhere lush, but maybe it's hard to get at.
Yeah. Or
Um,
maybe it's like in a weird form that's, like
Mhm.
it's all heavy water.
Yeah, or it's all in the screaming trees and the catkins. They're like little chubby cactus things. You have to get the water out of them. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it seems like we got a lot of food also between the little bugs and the catkins, so maybe it's not food. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say food could be in abundance and everything else would be scarce. That makes sense to me with the catkins. And we haven't like specifically identified a water situation, so to me that means that it's like they don't fucking know.
Mhm.
Cool. So I'm gonna do water plus energy minus.
Maybe sunlight plus minus because of the like too hot, too cold thing. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of sunlight, but like it either burns you or you can't get to it.
I don't know. It might not be the thing that this is then.
Ah, okay.
Cause yeah, I think the general idea is you like then later in the game you like you start a project to like gain more of the resource. And like I get gaining more sunlight, or I don't know if that's just like a thing that is rather than a resource you can
Yeah.
gain and lose.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it's like mediated by some aspect of the planet, like a super dense tree canopy, like you'd have to like build stuff to get over the trees, or like find, cut down the trees, or like get something that's exposed to sunlight, but also design it so it doesn't just get melted. Um,
Makes
so
sense.
like, sorry,
It makes sense to me.
yeah, like I guess maybe one way to think about like abundance versus scarcity is just how easy it is to access, like whether or not it is present, how easy it is to access.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So
Andy
we'll leave that
is
and say it's scarce.
Andy is recommending that the two of you change your display names if you don't feel like having your full first and last name displayed to the world on Twitch.
I
Oh,
tried to change my name to Dog. Did it work?
It just shows James.
Huh.
Gear in the top left corner, profile settings,
That's where I am right now.
display name. Click
Oh,
somewhere else, it'll
is
be like
display
name
name
saved.
different than first and last?
I just changed first and last.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah. And then click somewhere else and it'll be like first and last name saved. And then I refreshed the thing and it was showing my name correctly. Now you are a dog.
I had to refresh.
Did mine work?
Gold Star Pig?
There it goes.
what about mine?
Growlix
Yes.
Jones?
Yep.
Okay. So
Now some poor
we...
goddamn Growlix is gonna get doxxed. Man.
now we start playing the game. Does anyone have a deck of cards?
Yeah.
No.
You want to be the card
Uh,
master, Schoolie?
I'll say maybe. Cards got brought out at one point. I don't think it was my only deck, but I then threw away the cards because I was drunk. BRB.
We could also just use a D whatever.
I have 3 decks of cards still, apparently.
Nice. And there's an annoying thing where you have to separate them into different piles of suits.
Okay.
Shark skin, zoot suit, double breasted.
So right now I'm just sorting them into suit piles. Yeah.
Yep. So basically what happens is each player takes a turn. That turn is called a week. Weeks should take an average of 2 to 3 minutes to complete. During each week, the following thing happens. The active player draws a card, reads the relevant text aloud, and resolves it. They follow all bold text. All the project dice are reduced by 1, and any finished projects are updated. And the active player chooses and takes an action. And there are 3 actions they can take. Discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project. So I'll read all those. Discover something new, introduce a new situation. It might be a problem, an opportunity, or a bit of both. Draw the situation on the map. Whenever things seem too controlled or easy, we can use this action to introduce new issues and dilemmas. When individual characters get introduced, we'll give them names and record those names on our index card. Some example situations. There's a dried up well located at the edge of town. Mangy wolves have been slinking around the woods. There's a broken down water wheel a mile upstream. Strange wailing noises come from the forest at night, or a self-declared prophet arrives. Another action you can take is hold a discussion. Starting with you and going clockwise, everyone gets to... you can choose to open with a question or a declaration. Starting with you and going clockwise, everyone gets to weigh in once, sharing a single argument comprised of 1 to 2 sentences. If you opened with a question, you get to weigh in last. If you opened with a declaration, that's it for you. A discussion never results in a decision or summation process. Everyone weighs in and then it's over. This is how conversations work in communities. They are untidy and inconclusive affairs. Each discussion should be tied to a situation on the map. When a discussion ends, mark the situation attached to it with a small dot. Some example conversations include, should we retaliate against the bikers? Or leading with the declaration, we should abstain from retaliation or violence. Or could we use the school bus as a sleeping area for the village children? It's important that we stay concise. If any of us feel like we have more to say on a topic, we can always hold another discussion about it at a later point. And then the last one is start a project. You choose a situation and declare what the community will do to resolve it. There is no consultation about this idea. The community simply begins work. Some example projects: we're converting the mine shaft into cold food storage. We're killing those wolves. We're going to sacrifice a newborn on the night of the full moon to appease the windwalkers. I like
how these examples are just all over the place. Like the first ones were all just like, oh, tiny medieval town. And then it's kill the biker gang, sacrifice a newborn. Like,
yeah.
It's just
Totally.
in every genre that you could be doing this.
As a group, we quickly decide how many weeks the project would reasonably take to complete. Minimum 1 and maximum 6. Remember that you are a small community. It isn't easy to quickly build a house or repair a water wheel. Do you have the necessary tools and expertise to do this? Be generous with your assumptions, but do remember that scarcity and difficulty are the norm. If a project would reasonably take longer than 6 weeks to complete, it will need to be completed in stages. Place a die on the map whenever the project is taking place, with the die facing the number of weeks, and then you tick it down. So that's it. Who wants to go first?
How about you?
Do you want to go first?
He just read the rules and has the rulebook
Yes.
handy in front of him
Yes.
as I go to pull it up.
Is that Schooly volunteering?
No, that was me volunteering you.
Oh, okay. Well then, get the pile of hearts. Hearts
Okay.
represents springtime, which is the season we're in. Not that this planet necessarily has that season, but whatever.
Okay, I got
And-
hearts.
Grab me a heart.
Okay, say stop.
Stop. 8 of hearts.
Yes.
So for each of the cards, you get 2 options. For 8 of hearts, it's an old piece of machinery is discovered, broken but perhaps repairable. What is it? What would it be useful for? We kind of already did that. The other option is an old... Oh, they're both old piece of machinery. The other one is cursed and dangerous. How does the community destroy it?
I feel like
Um,
well, so how much discussion are we allowed? Did you just say
you are not allowed to discuss. This
Okay.
is my turn. I get to
Yep.
resolve it and do my action. There's the only mechanic that you, and I mean whatever, we can talk because we're friends, you know. But in the game rules, the only mechanic that you get if you like disagree with the decision I make is a thing called contempt.
Wait, I already have that though.
I'm in?
And it's like a token that you can give yourself. And then you can spend said token to. I kind of forget how contempt works. Hold on. If you ever feel like you weren't consulted or honored in a decision-making process, you can take a piece of contempt and place it in front of you. This is your outlet for expressing disagreement or tension. If someone starts a project that you don't agree with, you don't get to voice your objections or speak out of turn. You are instead invited to take a piece of contempt. Contempt will generally remain in front of players until the end of the game. It will act as a reminder of past contentions. Its primary role is a social signifier. In addition, you can discard it back into the center of the table in two ways, by acting selfishly and by diffusing tensions. If you ever want to act selfishly to the known detriment of the community, you can discard your contempt token to justify your behavior. You decide whether your behavior requires justification. This will often trigger others taking contempt tokens in response. If someone else does something that you greatly support that would mend relationships and rebuild trust, you can discard a contempt token to demonstrate how they've diffused past tensions. Okay.
So what you doing?
Uh, I will get an old piece of machinery. It is it's broken but repairable, and it is a like robotic exoskeleton thing that can do like heavy lifting and cutting.
Wait, did this come on the ship or did we find this here?
It came on the ship.
Okay.
Okay, so I need to draw that on
Jamie,
the map.
just off the bat establishing that there's an advanced civilization on this planet that has exoskeleton mechs. Like, turn one.
And then I get to do an action. And I'm gonna start a project which is a exploration for the purpose of finding water. They're gonna take the rover and they're gonna cruise around and try and find a reasonable water source. How long do you guys think that would take?
How lucky are we feeling?
Well, it doesn't mean they're successful, I guess. So maybe it's just like a 2-week cruise about, and then they come back, and if they find water, great, and if they don't, they don't.
I think 2 weeks sounds plenty reasonable for.
Yeah, with the abundance of water, maybe it's less like finding water or finding like the best water source in the area.
Wait, I thought food was supposed to be the abundance.
Was food abundant? What did we mark?
Yeah, we mismarked it. I think food was abundant.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then I think 2 weeks is a good amount of time.
Water. I'll put a 2 next to that. Put it next to the rover, and then I'll find a mech. And now it's someone else's turn.
Okay, can I interject with a question, which is, our characters, like you said, things. You discovered the exoskeleton, right? Who is you? Do we need to go into our
There's
personalities at all?
a small community that survived the ship crash. More than the 5 of us.
Okay. All right. So we're not doing individuals.
You
No.
can create individuals.
Yeah.
And I think some of the questions, like some of the cards, do require you to do that.
Okay.
We don't have any individuals yet.
Okay.
Like for instance, someone declares himself a prophet. It's like, oh, the captain died, and so the XO is now declaring that they're in charge, and there's a power struggle. We've now established that there is a person
Okay.
that has things.
Then I'll discard
Do I
my
return the card?
WKRP inspired character name.
What's that?
I will discard my WKRP inspired character name.
I mean, you can totally use it, but you might not want to if you're saving it for your... Because this will be a person that dies before your campaign starts, right?
Okay.
You could be their, like, grandson or something, but...
All right.
Okay.
Wait, did you link the rulebook somewhere?
It's at the start
yeah.
of Nessus.
Is it that PDF? I
Yep.
started reading that, and then it seemed like I was peeking ahead, so I stopped reading. But it.
Nope, that's the rule book.
Okay. It's okay to read this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a long time, we were at war with the jackals. What the fuck?
Some of it doesn't apply to our setting.
So I drew this card. Do I put it back? It doesn't specify whether
It
you
goes into a Discord pile. Discard.
Discord pile. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all in the Discord pile. Who's next?
Does everyone have the same order of webcams? No, right?
I
Yeah,
see
I don't think so.
Jamie, Matt, Andy, me, Daniel.
I see
That's what I
Jamie,
see too.
Matt, me,
Oh.
you, Daniel. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, next, I think...
All right. Matt's turn.
And
yeah.
Matt.
Oh shit.
What month is it now?
So it stays with hearts. I think we do all the hearts, and then we move on. Is
Okay.
that true? But yeah, draw another heart.
Say when.
When?
2 of hearts.
Wait, what is that?
Two of hearts is there's a large body of water on the map. Where is it? What does it look like?
Wow.
Or there's a giant man-made structure on the map. Where is it? Why is it abandoned?
Well, the water one, maybe that fits in pretty well with the expedition to go find water. So I'm just gonna say that, I feel like deciding that there was another group of organisms here at some point that had a structure, that seems like a big, seems like a big reveal for week 2. So I'm just gonna say that that body of water is what was found on the expedition that was. Wait, am I doing this right? Can I just declare that?
What are you declaring?
The how the water was, or the nature of the water that was found?
Yeah, that is what you are required to do.
Okay, cool. Yes, so I'm going to say that the expedition mounted to find water was successful. There is a bunch of water in a underground, I would say an underground river. It's not very visible from the surface, but after sending maybe not super stoked volunteers to go into.
So, sorry to
Sorry?
interrupt just because there's chaos happening on the map. I was trying to move all of the ideas to one side because we're about to start drawing this map. So let's get the ideas and resources and stuff off to the side because you're about to have to draw on this map where water goes.
Ooh,
And there's
cool.
3 people moving stuff around and things just keep getting moved back to where they were. And so I was trying to establish, let's get the ideas away from the crash site.
Technically, all of this is supposed to be on the map, but I don't know.
We
Yeah,
haven't
like-
established where these things are right now, so I
Draw
wanted to
a box
give
around the
I
legend.
wanted to give him room to be like, water exists here, and establish a distance,
Yeah.
Just a moment.
without having clutter in the way.
So, some questions. How are the people on the water expedition traveling? Are they walking? Are they taking a vehicle?
They took the solar powered
By
rover.
Yeah, they took the rover, but by the rules of the game, you don't get to decide how that project resolves. You are just answering this other question.
Oh, okay, cool. Yes, there's water. There's water in a underground cave network. I'm gonna say like 15 kilometers to the southeast.
Draw it.
Can I draw the terrain features up until the point that the water like exists, like along the line of travel to the water? Cool.
And then you also have to take an
Yeah.
action.
Say, do your action, then start drawing while other people go.
Oh, yeah, wait, sorry. What are my action choices? Do I
You can start a discussion, start a project, or what's the other one? Discover something new.
Start a project. We are going to harvest. We are going to harvest. Oh, we are going to. We are going to cull some catkins to have a feast. For good luck for the water finding expedition.
Nice. How long does that take? Probably just a week.
Yeah, week.
Okay. And then all the projects tick down a week. So the rover is just 1 week now. We're changing the project menu here.
Oh, sorry, were they already written somewhere else?
No, I think having them together kind of makes sense. But they do need times, so they're both 1. So both of them will resolve at the end of Andy's turn.
Stop.
10 of hearts.
10 of hearts is there's another community somewhere on the map. Where are they? What sets them apart from you? Or what belief or practice helps to unify your community?
Hey there, kitty buddy. Oh, you're a cutie. Yes, you are. Yeah, I'm up here.
I think the culling of catkins really unifies everyone in the potential for survival because of all of the food that we have in abundance, and how delicious bacon tastes. And we start our own traditions in terms of, like, we don't know it at the time, but the things we do to hold the feast end up becoming like ritualized and like not holy, but like a sort of shared tradition that unifies us. So those things include like the gratefulness to everyone's work to perform that task, and the fortune that we have of the great catkin beast and their prevalence and convenient properties, and that we were able to make a fire to cook them. All happy things for us.
Nessian Thanksgiving.
Nessian Thanksgiving, exactly.
Is this day the 10th of whatever month?
Mm-hmm. 10th of Hearts. All right, so now I pick an action or lead a discussion. That's what you said?
Yep.
No, I think our next project should be to create a shelter, to start putting down roots now that we have kind of established our home base. So we're gonna build stuff by salvaging scrap and gathering natural resources around to start building huts to live in and to do things in, and like a little garage for our rover, and stuff like that. So I think this is a pretty long-term project.
Yeah, I might suggest that this is broken up into different steps, because our scarcity is building materials.
Right.
So maybe step 1, find building materials. Step 2, build. Alternatively, it could be like, these are like janky little huts that we're making, for the short term, and then that's another thing down the line to make like big proper metal houses.
Let's go with the latter. We're going to construct lean-tos as rudimentary shelter with scraps and easily harvestable. Structural resources.
Yeah, trees and stuff.
Yeah. And how many people do we have? Did you say a couple dozen or something?
Couple, like 100.
Like 100? Okay, yeah. So even just to do enough lean-tos for a couple hundred people is going to take a while. So let's go with like 5.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, and then everything else wraps up, right?
Yeah, and so the player that started the project ends the project. I'm gonna say that the rover does find the cave network with the water in them and gets stuck because it's hard to drive in caves. So water has been located, but we are out 1 rover. And I cannot edit the... I'm going to throw our rover over here. I'm going to say it's stuck.
And, okay, alright, so...
And then, so there's also like, some people that are trapped over here. I think as far as most of the community knows, well, I don't know. Do they have ways to communicate with their Neuralink?
No, Neuralink is just like a hard drive of thoughts, not a communication device.
So we got Neuralink, but we don't actually have any Wi-Fi.
We do not have Wi-Fi. It is an analog
we also
connection.
don't have energy, so I think maybe all that technology stuff is like just totally unpowered right now.
Hmm.
Or maybe
Yeah.
like exercise bikes or something you can use for short-term temporary, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps I can address this with my project.
So the folks in the rover, is a group of like 5 people. They locate the water and hike the 10 kilometers back to let the settlement know what the deal is and where the water's at.
oh god, they just leave the rover behind like that?
It was totally wedged into a cave. They
Oh,
like
we
fully
slaughtered
Austin
them.
Powers it.
We slaughtered those catkins for good luck.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
I mean, the real, the importance of the Catkins was the friends we made along the way. I think that was pretty clear.
The friends were the catkins, and we slaughtered them.
Just a few. They're very big. It didn't take that many.
And we sort of, I don't know, did we honor them or did we just treat them like resources, would you say? Is it like Thanksgiving turkeys or is it like Indian cows or something? Or Native American buffalo?
From what I described, they were, they were honored, but it was technically Matt's event. So
Yeah, no, they were like there's they're not like I mean, they're not so sacred we don't eat them, but they're certainly respected.
On a scale of cuddly house cat to like ferocious looking jaguar, what is the general demeanor and appearance of these catkins?
oh, they're like cuddly house cat demeanor.
So sort of like pigs. Like
Do
Yeah.
they just like look adorable though?
They do look adorable, yes.
Man.
Yeah, damn. This is why they had to create a religion around killing them, because like otherwise it's just a tough bullet to swallow.
Well,
Yeah, like that's. I feel
can't-
like in the first week, maybe the end of it, as onboard food starts running out, the food replicator is not working. Like, there may have been some people that were very not on board with killing the fluffy, adorable house cats on like day 2, but by the end of a week or two, they're probably enjoying the bacon.
Yeah, and the ones who didn't probably starved. I mean, that's the thing about building a tradition, right? Like, we got an in group, and maybe we also have an out group as part of this. The people who did not partake in the feast of the catkin.
Well, then they're pretty hungry, I bet.
Yeah, they can eat some bugs, some energy bugs.
I pull the Ace of Hearts. Good one. I can feel it. What group
Yeah.
has the highest status in this community? What must people do to gain inclusion in this group? Or are there distinct family units in the community? If so, what family structures are common?
ooh.
Without just being like, yeah, let's do the thing we just talked about. I'd say number 2, not so much distinct family units. Well, I guess real first I'll ask, what was the nature of this ship? Was exploratory? Like,
It was. I mean, it was supposed to be, creating a new home for humanity.
was this like government funded, operated? Was this, private organization?
Up to you.
What do we feel?
Nope. Your turn.
Okay, then I'm gonna say that, typically in these events, certain billionaires notwithstanding, usually, the world's in trouble. We got to find a new habitable world. As large governmental / military type expeditions, and so not so much family units in this community, but like very tiered organizational structure. Like, there was a captain of the ship, there was his subordinate, there were, the people that report to him, so on down the line. So a little cliquish and chain of commandy in that sense, in terms of family structures. Not family,
Nice.
but organizational structure. And I can now hold a discussion, discover something new, start a project. I will discover something new. On their trip back from the rover, the people discovered some sort of, man-made looking construction, rather rudimentary, about on par with like the lean-tos currently being constructed, but something with some level of sentience built something.
Ooh.
Spooky.
Not alone,
Cool.
huh?
Yeah, just like a lone little shelter in the woods.
Tick down the construction to 4. And pull a card for Daniel.
I can't see you, but I'm waiting on you to say when.
Go ahead.
6 of Hearts.
Right. Where are you guys looking this up?
And the PDF at the like 3/4 of the way through.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, spring 6. Are there
Okay.
children in your community? If there are, what is their role in the community? Or how old are the eldest members of the community? What special needs do they have?
What was the verdict on the purpose of the ship, or did you have a specific conclusion on that?
Exploratory, find a new world to colonize because running out of resources on Earth. Are we from Earth?
Sure.
Cool. Okay. I would say there are children aboard. It's sort of not recommended, but people do it. It's like Kids at Burning Man, if anyone knows about that. Like you probably shouldn't do it, but some people did because they're like, sort of hippies or don't care about safety rules.
Makes sense for like a generational ship too. You can't have everyone be the same age. Like.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Wait, how long have we been in space? Have we been in cryosleep or anything? Anyone have opinions?
Yeah, it was a long journey. A lot of cryo sleep for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so some people brought kids, and it's like a little. This is not a great place for kids, right? Where like everybody has to be working all the time. There isn't much time for recreation, and those without kids are maybe like feeling a little judgmental and looking askance that other people sort of irresponsibly brought these like resource hogs that consume a lot of resources and don't really give anything back.
But they're the future.
They are the future.
But we live now.
So, we've got this womb, right? So maybe there's some question of whether we should stick them in the womb until they have, fully matured. The parents of the kids are very against this. We don't know what the womb does to people.
Is it a Montessori womb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe we discovered the womb because some kid played in there and came out, like a year older or something after, whatever, noticeably older after like a few days of being lost.
Damn.
We're sleeping in there.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is the children are unsupervised while the adults are trying to stay alive.
Yes. And there's questions among the adults. Should we just stuff them in the womb? They're a resource drain. Can we afford this?
Nice.
Am I following the
Yeah.
rules?
Yeah, totally.
This is just all make believe.
Scully, do you want to put where they found the man-made or thing?
About where you had it is like, just halfway between the two, like,
Oh, that's
where-
my lean-to settlement site image.
Oh.
But it could also be what you found if you like it.
Yeah. I mean, certainly more rudimentary than what you had, more of just like branches leaning up against a tree with some sort of more foliage covering them to prevent
Okay.
rain or something. I don't know, the oppressive sun. Here, I'll find a picture.
Yeah, I think yeah, so you can
Yep.
everyone can make their own vision come to life. This is what I was imagining for a lean-to settlement site. It's like just like scraps of metal from the crash site, put over some like shit so that you have a roof.
Daniel taking action?
Yeah, I was going to maybe start a project to reach the top of the canopy and see if we can get some solar energy. Maybe I assume the ship had solar panels, even though I didn't think of that earlier and make that one of the things, but maybe we could salvage something from the ship. But first
I
step
think
is
the only solar panel we have is the one that is currently stuck on a rover in a
okay.
cave.
Okay.
You could start a project to salvage that.
I think first project is like we haven't been to the top of the canopy yet. I'm thinking if that's cool with people, like can we make it to the top of the canopy and actually see the sun?
Okay. How are they climbing?
Yeah, maybe they're climbing, maybe they're having to build ladders, like get through the dense lattice of branches.
Don't forget your sunblock.
They just tree sap themselves to the side and wait for the tree to grow.
And maybe there's other shit up there. Maybe there are ecosystems up there with predators. Who knows? Like there could be dangers.
Oh shit.
Arboreal catkin.
So I feel like depending on whether they're like building a ladder structure or just climbing, this is like either a 1 week or a 4 week project,
Yeah, I think it's some combination of the two. Let's give it a 2. That's
cool. Sounds good. Now I get to draw a card.
On to the next month, or do we do all of these? Or the next, is it summer now?
I am not sure. Let's see.
What's going on over here?
I'm trying to make a womb.
Oh.
I'm not very good at drawing though. And the tools are
Yeah.
limited.
It doesn't say. It does say that when someone draws the King of Spades, the game is over.
It says put all the cards on top of each other. So
Okay, yeah, you just go through
it
them.
seems
until
like you
get
draw
there.
through the entire deck, and then somewhere in the last year it ends abruptly.
Yeah, got it.
But so you can't, game out like, oh, we've only got 4 cards left, only 4-week projects.
Right.
Okay.
Um,
Spades on bottom. So here, have a heart. 7.
Where does everyone sleep? Who is unhappy with this arrangement and why? Or what natural predators roam the area? Are you safe? I kind of already wanted to do both of these. But yeah, I'm gonna go with natural predators. I think now that people are exploring more, they've started to encounter a little more flora and fauna. And I think several folks were torn limb from limb by a pack of spiky, almost like Sonic the Hedgehog-like creatures, but with like teeth and claws.
Thanks for that nightmare.
Yeah, they're like 3 feet tall, and they move pretty quickly.
At least now we have coins in abundance because every time we poke them.
Yeah.
Rings, I think. Yeah, but
Whatever.
Bring,
It's my world.
in this alternate reality.
And then I will I like these little blurbs here.
This is great. Are you an actual agile coach? Because I mean, you move around the board like one.
I have actually used this tool before.
Oh,
for
okay.
Agile type stuff.
I'm the agile coach.
Sorry.
And
You're the
scrum leader.
deck coach.
That was not an option. Also, I stopped reading after I saw the word coach.
So I would like to hold a discussion.
Hmm.
I take a contempt token. Talking's for nerds.
The homeworld's obviously not coming anymore, and so its culture and hierarchy are outdated. The Captain Duncan has no power over me anymore, and I want equal housing.
So sorry, what are the rules with discussion? Everyone can basically make like one statement.
Yeah,
You make one argument of up to a couple sentences.
Are we going to go in the same clockwise
Yep.
order?
Yep.
Wait, what the? My order changed. Now Daniel's at the top left.
It's okay, though.
It's the same order.
Yeah, he went from
Yes.
the bottom to the top, so it actually doesn't matter.
Started from the bottom, now he's up there.
He should have waited till his previous turn and then swooped to the top and gotten another turn in a row.
Oh,
Yeah.
good
Went from the
choice. That's
bottom
one
to the
weird
top.
trick.
Daniel's cheating.
players
in
hate him.
Agile coaches hate him.
Social mobility.
His social mobility, yeah, okay. All right, so say more about your discussion. You don't feel
By the rules of the game, I'm not allowed to, but
okay. Then just repeat it.
I'll summarize. New community, old hierarchies don't matter.
Hmm.
Captain Duncan shouldn't be in charge.
He's implying that Captain Duncan is like, maybe for the housing, not doing things equitably because of the old hierarchy, and he would like to buck that, given that the homeworld is long gone.
Oh yeah, officers' quarters way nicer.
Okay. So discussion in the same order, Matt.
Yep.
Uh, in a in a sort of new unknown and possibly in a new uncertain unknown and possibly threatening world, we need as much structure and order as we can possibly have to maintain cohesion and unity. And tradition is critical for that. Tradition is one of the ways we can achieve that. And without tradition, we risk becoming unmoored and incoherent. And it doesn't, a lot of tradition is arbitrary anyway. And the important thing is that we use it to maintain unity.
The parties I represent agree with both sentiments and suggest that a convention in which to draft a governance document be a project to be taken sooner rather than later, in which to codify the New World Order.
Establishing a new governance this early in our expedition will detract from working on projects that are most critical to our immediate survival.
Fair.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, that was 2 sentences. You're done.
Oh, you only allowed 2 sentences? What's the?
It says convey a single argument, in like 1 to 2, 2 to 3 sentences, something like that, or one really long run-on sentence if you're Matt.
I agree with both of you. And we think that, maybe the time for, we're still in survival mode. The time for sort of representative democracy is not come yet. Like for full, we need some sort of hierarchical authoritarian structure. But what we want to ensure is that once things stabilize, that structure doesn't, sort of become dedicated to just maintaining itself in power. So maybe some time, after some amount of time, we want to commit to putting a, sort of constitution that's more democratically representative in place, say like 2 years or something. Wherever we are in 2 years, we're going democratic.
Time.
Contempt? Who said anything about democracy?
Are those your contempt tokens?
No, I'm just kidding.
Jamie was pulling
I'm
out.
creating characters.
Captain Duncan?
Yes.
Matt, 4 of hearts. Which
4
means-
of hearts. Let's see.
Or you can scroll.
Ooh, what important and basic tools does the community lack? Or, which I feel like sort of talk. And why are you? Where are you storing your food? Why is this a risky place to store things? As someone who recently had ants in their apartment, house. Oh God, this is tough. All right. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the important and basic tools that the community lacks. So I just get to decree this, right?
Yep.
How this whole game works.
Yeah. I would say maybe. Oh, I think tools for we have tools to like build stuff on the ship and like with sort of human supplies. I think the tools we have are not well suited to working the resources in this environment. So, like maybe as an example, like as I sort of mentioned before, like the cutting tools we have get like gummed up and corroded by the trees that exist here. and maybe like, the sort of digging and smashing tools and stuff aren't well suited for the rock that's here. Like it ends up sort of like shattering it instead of like cutting it if we're trying to, like cut blocks of stone. And the soil is maybe like too sort of like gummy or clayy for the like digging tools that we have. So I would say that basically most of our like sort of handheld and productive tools work for sort of earth parameter materials, but they don't work well for the materials here or for the resources here. So maybe like, it sort of like takes 2 or 3 times longer to do anything with, than to sort of do what we're used to with like natural resources and stuff. Also, maybe for fun, let's say our communications tools like don't work. This sort of range of them is limited by whatever properties of the atmosphere, such that like you can't sort of communicate more than like a few miles away. It's like ham
I
radio.
don't think we have any communication tools.
Yeah, I was gonna
Sorry?
say. What
We don't have any
communication
communication
tools?
tools.
Oh, we don't? Okay, well then.
Literally everything besides the stuff we've listed is like total Stone Age.
Oh, okay. Well then the like cone, the like hand cone horns that we have certainly do not extend that long when yelling through them. Yeah, so I guess those are the probably the big ones. Like, oh, also maybe a good one would be like we certainly lack good tools for like cultivating and harvesting the panacea snails. Like, we sort of have to go out and like pick them by hand right now, which really sucks. Yeah,
All right, action.
action. Let's see. Sorry, I'm still like not totally. So we can have
Start a discussion, start a
Right.
project, discover something new.
Start discussion, start project. Discussion project, something new. What's on the project?
Should we have ticked these down a couple of times also? What is that?
I think they're due to go down one.
At the end of every turn.
So you know what? I'm going to initiate a project, I would say, to create. I think we need to understand more about these predators. I think we should trap one to study it. So, build a trap, capture it, poke it with sticks, maybe put one of the catkin in the cage with it. Maybe feed it some bugs, maybe, I don't know. Definitely experiment with it. So yes, that's what we're doing. We're going to trap a predator to study it. What does it eat if it's not eating us? That's probably an important question.
How long do we think that'll take?
I think it will take like a month. Because like we have to build, we have to build a cage. We have to like lure it in. We have to sort of experiment on it. Like, or actually, maybe capturing it is one stage, and then sort of researching it as a second stage. Or I guess we could do continued research on. I'm gonna say 4 weeks. Capture an initial study.
Seems reasonable.
Trap a Sonic the Hedgehog for study.
Don't you have to name it? Whoever, Jamie, I think.
The Sonics?
Yeah. Or you could name it, so we don't call it Sonics. Think about it. All right, who's next? Is me?
9 of hearts.
9 of hearts. I don't have the PDF up. I'm relying
A
on
charismatic young girl convinces many to help her with an elaborate scheme. What is it? Who joins her endeavors? Start a project to reflect. Or a charismatic young girl tries to tempt many into sinful or dangerous activity. Why does she do this? How does the community respond?
Whoa, that's a hard one. Okay, so sorry. Repeat the. It says
She wants people to join her elaborate scheme.
a charismatic young
Or-
woman, scheme or sinful
Or dangerous activity.
or dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Sex cult, sex cult.
I would be lying if I didn't
Probably
say
trying
that
to
was,
repopulate, you know.
that was the first thing that came to my mind.
There is also the already established like the VR thing and the drug thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know
you
that. I
might
was
wanna
trying to
pull in.
incorporate, yeah, some of that.
Yeah.
Also the political dissonance thing.
hmm Yeah, so the charismatic young woman is secretly leaving memories of her thoughts on the Neuralink and hinting to people to listen to them as a way to organize a shadow society whose purpose is to take Captain Duncan and put him in the projective fabric and make him think that that's reality as a way for him to be out of the picture.
Damn.
Is this an elaborate scheme or a dangerous activity?
Yeah, probably both. Yeah, I would call this a scheme that does have dangerous possible outcomes, but may not if it succeeds. It's not. Yeah, I don't.
Who
That's
joins her endeavors? Start a project to reflect.
okay. Yeah. So, was Roderick Venger the one who was mad about Captain Duncan?
Yeah, he is dissident number 1.
Yeah. Okay. So, the woman I'm going to come up with, woman name, and Venger, and 24 malcontents, are scheming to, trap Duncan in VR simulation of
VR purgatory.
yeah, we'll call it VR purgatory.
Now start a project based on that.
Yeah,
Give it a timeline.
yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna take 3 weeks. It's gonna take 2 weeks to set everything up, and then 1 week to execute.
Okay, now pick an action.
Okay. Project, discussion, or there was a third thing
Discovery.
discovery. Okay.
Not necessarily related to the coup being planned.
Right. The discovery is that a few feet under the surface of this planet are you can find these like hot tub sized reservoirs of like a goo that bubbles and is a very pleasing temperature.
Pleasing goo.
Pleasing goo. Goo hot tubs. Naturally occurring a few feet under the surface of
And
the
are
planet.
people just like getting in these? They're like, oh, hot goo, I'll just put my body in that.
Well, they don't know much about it, but the first people to who were digging and found it, they did some basic experiments, and it all seemed pretty non-hostile. Like someone put a finger in and everything was okay, and someone put a catkin in and it was pleased and
Let out a satisfying purr.
yeah, exactly. And so it seems as though they are habitable.
Chill.
That was a bit random, but I felt like my card had a lot, so I wanted to go with something a little lighter.
Yeah.
All right, for me, 5. There's a disquieting legend about this place. What is it? Or alarming weather patterns destroy something. How and what? The guys who returned from the rover trip and found the lean-to are constantly spreading in hushed whispers about how, oh, that other expedition, must have landed here. We're not the first ones here. Others think there's ridiculous advanced alien life that clearly was not represented by the rudimentary lean-to, but upon seeing anything out of the normal, they are wild speculation about what else exists on this planet already, and a lot of rumors and whispers. And then start a project. Gonna start trying to capture and breed biodiesel snails,
Hell yeah.
which I feel is gonna take at least 6 weeks. Like, I don't know what the life cycle on these things are, but establishing terrariums for them, figuring out what they eat, trying to convince other people to not touch them and screw it up. Start trying to breed them in captivity.
So is it a week? King of Hearts. Is a week a trip around the board, or is it one?
No, it's one turn.
Did we tick down projects at the end of Schoolie's turn?
I don't think we ticked him down at the end of my
These
turn
are
either.
done at this point, right?
Can we have someone committed to ticking down projects? I got my hands full with cards.
All right,
Yeah, I'm happy to.
I'll do it. You're doing a lot of other things. I'll do it. I think we're 2 in debt, so lean-tos are 1 week away. We've climbed to the top of the canopy to see the sun. We're still working on the other things. This was at my turn, so it only goes down 1.
Okay, King of Hearts. A young boy starts taking.
Sorry, really quick. Do we need to wrap up the project of climb to the top of the canopy to see the sun? Is there something we do that with when a project ends?
The person that created the project describes its completion.
So let's see, we made it to the top. Like the upper layers of the canopy are indeed pretty interesting and support, like a whole different ecosystem than the floor. Nothing we found there is especially useful, though. It's mostly just interesting. And I think, once you get above the top of the canopy, the sort of solar radiation is pretty intense. You'd get a sunburn in a few minutes up there. But it does seem like it could be a fruitful source of power. Like the rover solar panels are presumably, able to gather energy somewhere without an atmosphere at all, so they could, they'd be right at home up there. But we'll come back to that. Let's see. So, King of Hearts, a young boy starts digging in the ground and discovers something unexpected. What is it?
Oh no!
Or an old man confesses to past crimes and atrocities. What has he done? Ooh, I think I like that one.
I accidentally did the digging one, so.
So how did the ship crash? Like, these are pretty reliable things, right? It wouldn't just crash. They've got this all calculated out. One of the crew, who I guess survived the crash despite being in an area where nobody else from that, of that part of the crew survived, confesses to, like, maybe after a few drinks, sabotaging something. I don't know. Should I try and make a whole story here, or could we let it unfold?
It's your story. I mean, it's all our story, but you're in control right now. You tell us what you want to have happen in this world.
It is clear that he did something that caused the crash of the ship. It is not clear what his motivations were, but I don't know. Do we discuss how to respond to this?
If someone starts,
you can do that as your action, but you don't have to.
Let's see. I sort of want to get that solar project, continuing to go as well. Let's have a discussion about. So what do we do with this guy? And we clearly don't have the whole story yet.
Yeah, I mean, let's get the story then. I think this concerns everyone here. I'm all for murdering him or whatever, but I need to know what happened more than that.
Does he tell you anything? Oh,
Wait, who's next? Is it me? Or
You.
Is it...
Yep.
I don't think anything good can come of this. Knowing anything about it, if people know about this, it's just going to cause unrest and discontent and possibly a lot of discord. We're here. There's nothing we can do about it. We have to do the best we can. I think this guy falls into the sonic pit by accident, and that's that.
I propose that we isolate the man, but attempt to find out more via loading him up with alcohol or whatever, getting him drunk and in the goo pit and just chatting him up, see if he talks to us more, since it's weighing on him.
We should hold a trial immediately so that we don't have someone capable of sabotaging the community running free and causing other havoc.
All right.
Cool.
And then since Daniel asked a question, he gets one last statement or argument.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Statement order. Let's see. So yeah, let's say it's clear that this guy has a drinking problem. He confessed to this while drunk and sort of blurted this out, disclosed this while drunk, and seems like alcohol was involved with the ship incident as well. He alluded to that. So it's another piece of information.
All right, I have an update from Project. The project to construct lean-tos as a rudimentary shelter with scraps and easily harvestable structural resources is complete. There's about 10 buildings that are all committed entirely to sleeping and living in during poor weather. They're not comfortable at all, and it's just rows and rows of people in sleeping bags. But they are out of the elements, and it's a good place to start. But they're basically just 4 walls and a roof. The close proximity that everyone has with people not of their choosing does raise tensions, but everyone does understand that it's kind of just the first step, and they're itching to have better living conditions still.
Oh.
Jamie gets the Jack of Hearts. You see a good omen, what is it? Or you see a bad omen, what is it?
It's unclear whether it's good or bad, but the thing that several people in the village see looks like the their own crash landing. There's seems like a spaceship coming through the sky. It seems like your spaceship coming through the sky, and then it disappears. I don't know. It maybe was a mass hallucination. Kind of unclear what the ramifications of this are. Obviously, there's collective trauma, but whether there's also other things going on, it's unclear.
Very mysterious.
V spoopy.
I like it.
Spoopy.
V open-ended world building for Jamie to do after we're done.
And then I'm gonna start a project. It's gonna be a 1-week project in which Oh, actually, I guess I was gonna say they were gonna use VR to get the sabotage man to confess his secrets, but I guess that's the VR chamber's already about to have a thing happen in it, so.
I'm sort of unclear on this. Like
Could be
the
a 2-week project then, you know.
because it's a project, so it.
Let's see. I would like to have a team repair the mech suit. Maybe that'll require the finishing of. Didn't we have a? What happened to Schooley's project about finding more of our nanobugs?
That was a 6-week project to just like get them into a breedable configuration.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was lowering things, but I wasn't adding things, and everyone probably expected me to add it as well. So, you want to type out what it was?
You can just write like, you know, construct snail breeding terrarium or farm. Like,
Okay. And that
right
was
now, just establishing, can we breed them in captivity? What foods do they like? What conditions, et cetera, et cetera.
And that was 6 weeks, and that started on your turn.
Yeah, so it should be 5 and right now, and then it'll be 4 after Jamie's done.
Okay.
Yeah. Snails.
No, you know what? I'm gonna send a group to take the solar panels off the rover and put them into the canopy using the ladders that are up there. It's a 2-week project. And this is kind of with the purpose of beginning to power the AI system to try and figure out how to build other things.
Okay, we have project updates. Trap a Relk for study.
Those are the Sonic the Hedgehog creatures.
Yep. Whose project was that?
Matt's?
Yes.
How'd it go?
Ooh, that's a good question. How did it go? We were able to build a cage. We baited it with, we tried a little bit of everything. It worked. It's contained in a cage. I think one person was grievously injured. I think maybe lost their like hand or arm during the trapping process. It got torn off by the by the Relk. But we do have a Relic that we captured. We know that it eats. Interestingly, it seems like it eats basically everything. It did not eat the snail goo. So despite it being a panacea, it was sort of uninterested in it, which I think some people take as a good, like, some people take as like it sketches them out, and some people take as like, yeah, see, like it's so good that it repels Relks too. But we have one in captivity, and we can study it more in depth now. I don't know, maybe try and weaponize it or something. Who knows?
Okay, great. Another update. That this is going to be a big one, I think. So the Bailey quarters and Roderick Venger conspiracy to trap Captain Duncan in VR has completed. They quickly discover that they don't have power to run the VR and change their plan to actually just sticking him in goo, which they do, and he dies.
Wait, what kind?
To
Like,
death.
the hot tub goo?
They put him in the hot tub goo, because that was the plan. They're going to do a VR simulation of hot tub goo trap, but they realize the VR part won't work, so they actually just put him in goo and cover the goo up and he
So they just
suffocates
drowned.
in the goo.
They just drowned him.
They drowned him in goo. So Cap Duncan drowned.
So it's just a mutiny. It's just a plain old. There's no, technological spin. They just starved him of oxygen until he died.
They were mad
A
about
murder.
the discussion. That it didn't lead to any sort of rights for the
Timeless
people.
approach. Timeless
Um,
approach.
and yeah, so a conspiracy was executed. It shocks the entire community that Captain Duncan is missing, and no one knows where he went.
Nice.
His body is not discovered, because the goo pits are plentiful and no one's keeping super close track of them. It may be discovered later, but right now, yeah. And yeah, I think that's it.
Nice.
Whose turn is it now?
I think it's Matt's.
Yay.
Queen, what's the most beautiful thing in the area, or what's the most hideous thing in this area?
The most hideous thing. Boy, that's the most hideous thing is a unidentifiable stench. It is not.
The goo.
It does not. The stench is not present all the time. It is not consistently in a single place, but every so often it just smells fucking terrible, to the point that if you're in it like for long enough, you are incapacitated. Like you will like retch. I guess maybe analogous to the effects of the stinking clouds spell in D&D kind of thinking. Like you are wrecked by it. You can't do anything else. And like it doesn't usually last for a super long time, but it's totally unpredictable.
Nice.
Most hideous. Let's see. So I should make a note of this.
So you want me to just randomly incapacitate you guys? Got it.
Yes.
No, it breeds a community that values breathing devices, face coverings.
Going into the evil feet
Some
first.
people
instead
think
of-
that the face coverings don't do anything because air can go through it anyway, so it's not stopping the gas particles. Those
Yep.
people end up vomiting a whole lot more often and blame the gays. Like it's a
Too
whole
soon. Too soon.
never too soon. Got to keep reminding them that they're idiots.
This is like 1,000 years after that, so it's okay to joke about.
Yeah, and no one learned. History is doomed
Yeah.
to repeat itself.
Yep.
And
Action.
my action. I think what will we do about the drowning of Captain Duncan?
Missing.
Sorry?
Nobody except the conspirators know that he was drowned.
Oh,
He's just missing.
Okay.
What happened to Captain Duncan?
So then I guess, yeah, I'll take it one step back. What's the sort of what's the community's reaction to Captain Duncan going missing?
Okay, that's me. The reaction is concern. Possibly he was taken away and or eaten by the Relks, or the stench possessed him to just walk randomly, and he ended up being lost on the planet somewhere. Maybe we should go try to find him. And
Was this action start a discussion, or is this elaboration? Okay.
Oh, this is started a
Yeah.
discussion.
And you asked a question.
Yes.
So that's the reaction, and the like ideas for action would be like search party for a little bit, maybe. And if he doesn't turn up, we're gonna have to find a new, way to, organize ourselves.
I think the saboteur had a hand in this, and swift justice needs to be dealt to him immediately.
Speaking as like a maybe teenage kind of shit stirrer who's not explicitly part of the resistance, but is on their side-ish. Like, so a lot of the kids, they like to jump in the goo, like the boys, especially like face down because it's dangerous and it shows you're macho. And I think the captain, he's an old guy and he was trying to like show he was cool and probably dove into the goo face down and couldn't hack it because he's a fucking old man. That's what I think.
Interesting.
We need to, regardless of whether he's coming back or not, honestly, but especially given the possibility that he may not be returning, we need to hold a democratic election.
So now I get to make one final point or something.
Yep. One final argument.
I think the mutiny conspirators have a alternative theory they're trying to push to take the heat off of them, which I think would be that he got eaten by the Relk, the captive Relk, or maybe he tried to fight it, or he was doing something untoward with it. Maybe he was trying to engage in bestiality with it because he's a disgusting piece of shit. But he definitely like fucked around and found out with the Relk.
Okay.
All right, project counters.
They have been downed for this
Okay.
round.
With the last card of spring,
Ooh.
Andy, someone new arrives who, or two of the community's younger members get into a fight. What provoked them?
Ooh. Hmm. I think because it's the cliffhanger of spring going into summer, a person arrives at the crash site. They have complete loss of recollection of anything that's happened. They, beyond the last couple days, when they found themselves at a wreck not unlike ours, and walked in a straight line until they found the settlement. And they're very hungry, and they bear a striking resemblance to Captain Duncan.
Oh shit.
Whew! All right. Action.
Mm-hmm.
The action. Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna change this X from an X to a question mark. Okay. The action or discussion or discovery. Okay. The action will be. Oh yeah, here's something I want to do. So a scholarly individual by the name of Dr. Johnny Fever wants to begin archiving the history of the settlement, the country that is being created via the Neuralink, and I don't know how to time this. I want it just to be an ongoing thing. He's just like, he is writing the history. Is that something I can do? Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Maybe like phrasing, starting a project to arrange times for different groups of the community to go in, upload some memories and stuff like that. Where like
I want this to just be
creating a tradition as opposed to like, oh, this project is done and all of the history is uploaded.
I'm basically just imagining him journaling. So it's like it's the diaries of Dr. Johnny Fever, historian of Nessus. So I mean,
you could give it a random date and then tell us about some of them when that clicks. See how it's going, and then it'll be presumed that he's kind of passively continuing it after the project ends.
Awesome, great, okay, yeah. So he's going to begin.
He also meets his untimely demise.
Historian documenting or uploading personal journals into Neuralink regarding history of Nessus. And so he's going to be doing that for basically, he's just starting now, so he's got to backdate, got to go back and find all the important memories to upload from spring. And so that's going to take 4 weeks. And that at that point he'll be up to date.
Bailey strongly advises him to keep it apolitical. Don't look too hard into certain things.
All right, we have a project update from the solar panel reclaiming from rover and being installed into canopy.
Yeah, I guess this would probably predate the archiving project by about 5 minutes because the Neuralink is now online. Solar panels have been installed into the trees, and a cable has been brought from them down to the I'm gonna just say that there's like kind of a central hub housing that was also made in the lean-to thing that includes the VR, the various like mechanical projects that are being worked on, kind of like a warehouse deal. And yeah, the Neuralink is online for folks in that building at least. And Sweepy Clean has been contacted as well. they have provided some information on how to repair the mech using Electrum. And oh yeah, it's not my turn.
That makes it my turn. And I get the King of Diamonds, which is Summer is fleeting. Discard the top 2 cards off the deck and take 2 actions this week.
Whoa.
2 cards. Gone. Who knows what they would have been. Action number 1. Start a project. 2 weeks. Hold a trial for the Saboteur with the remaining officers and command structure presiding over it. It's going to be an open affair with the public invited, but more of like a Supreme Court sort of ruling, no like jury of his peers. Action number 2, since what's his name, Captain Duncan, whether this is him or not, no longer appears fit for command. 4-week project to hold open elections, which has a lot of community backing, but discontent from, again, that remaining command structure who wants to remain in power and thinks, structure exists for a reason, yada, yada, yada. So starting 2 projects.
Got him.
Cool.
No project updates today.
Well, here's one for Daniel. Queen, a project finishes early. Which one? Why?
Let's see. So here, open projects. Snail breeding terrarium. Trial of the Saboteur does not get to happen because he is found dead. I don't know if he's face down in the goo or... Yeah, I think he's face down in the goo.
Classic.
A goo murder. Okay, so
Damn.
Trial of Saboteur is completed.
I was gonna exile him, for just another random hook, but that seems fair.
Well, we got a hook here, right?
People don't want him talking,
Well, somebody didn't want him talking. I think Ori was like trying to show he was macho. Common cause of death around here.
Maybe it was just a calming goo bath related accident.
Ran out of alcohol.
He didn't drink a lot,
goo.
It's easy to get dehydrated in that goo.
Yeah. And so, sorry, point of clarity. We had somebody wander in, potentially from the other ship. Is that right, or did I make that up? Okay.
Who looks a lot like Captain Duncan.
They look
has
like Captain
amnesia.
Oh, wait, really? God, I missed this, right?
Yeah, that was the biggest reveal of the whole campaign so far.
Go me.
Do the goo pits actually teleport you somewhere on the planet and wipe your memory? Or is it just a striking resemblance? Or
okay, well, we've got discovery. It's around this Captain Duncan who stumbled in, and he seems to be. He remains, amnesiac, like pretty much mute. Like it's hard to have a conversation with him. He's getting sort of weird tumors. They're not like super gross, but they're growing very fast. And maybe like transforming a little bit. Looks a little mossy, maybe. And people near him, he seems to be able to like heal people a little or something, like ailments that people have when they get near him or touch him or whatever seem to maybe get a little bit better. Maybe it's their imagination.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how to document them.
I'll just make it.
Has the community all just started calling this guy Captain Duncan also? I feel like they'd probably just be like, this is a different guy, right? We're just gonna call him George.
He doesn't know his name.
That was Captain Duncan's first name.
Did we ever
George
find
Duncan.
the body? I don't think we ever found the body, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so he could have just come back. Only the saboteurs know that it's not the same guy,
Mm-hmm.
or is the same guy. Gotcha.
Establishing democracy through violence and bloodshed. Classic. Tale as old as time.
Yeah. Is it my turn?
Sure, yeah.
Hold on,
Any
sorry.
projects?
We do have a project update. The snail breeding terrarium project is complete.
All right, so using pieces of scrap metal and stuff like that from the ship, able to construct rudimentary cages, like real small holes in the top so they can breathe. Took a few rounds of putting in different local flora into the cage until they found out what they ate, but the bugs seem to be alive and well, and slowly starting to breed. So that will be an ongoing endeavor in order to establish, usable numbers of them. Because I imagine one ladybug is not filled with like megajoules of energy or calories. But they are flourishing in their new environment.
Cool.
Now, 7 of diamonds. Introduce a mystery at the edge of the map, or an unattended situation becomes problematic and scary. What is it? How does it go awry?
Yeah, I'll introduce a mystery. There is what essentially looks like a like the dankest rainbow that anyone has ever seen. But it kind of appears to be like reflecting or being projected, or like the pot of gold of it seems to be a thing. And it's over here. Right.
So mysterious.
Do
I don't want to select things.
I like the depiction of the old Captain Duncan. It looks exactly like Captain Duncan, but wearing a hat.
Oh, right. We got a avatar for him.
And I will start a project to Yeah, I'm gonna start a project to go check out the rainbow, I guess. I'm gonna say a group of 10 people, including Roderick Wenger and Bailey Quarters.
Hmm.
Begin take rations and some equipment and head towards the rainbow.
All the way across the land.
All right, how long is that going to take?
That is going to take 5 weeks.
Got it.
Next up, Jack O. Diamonds. Predators and bad omens are afoot. You are careless and someone goes missing under ominous circumstances. Who? Or, predators and bad omens are afoot. What measures do you take to keep everyone safe and under surveillance? Do not reduce project dice this week.
Is the
Me?
do not reduce project dice?
Just for the option number 2.
Okay.
Either someone dies or you spend time constructing safety measures and are too busy with that for projects.
Also, I just want to retcon real quick. Bailey and Roderick would not have left because the elections are happening. So it was some other fucking nerds.
All right.
Okay, so wait, so this is me, right?
This is you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I would say that there were 2 people, actually a parent and a child, that were watching the captured Relk. They disappeared. The Relk is still captive. So it's not clear where they went. There's no trace of them. It's not like there's like gore all over the inside of the Relk cage. They are just gone. Relk is still there. That is the thing that happened. And I'm going to start a project to study in detail the Relk, its diet, its sleeping patterns, what senses does it rely on, just like an assessment of this creature and what it is capable of and how it works.
How long?
I would say like 6 weeks. Actually, why don't I'll say 4 weeks, and there can be subsequent follow-up studies as, if interested. So let's say 4 weeks.
All right. We have a project update. The historian has included the tale of spring at Nessus, and it is very comprehensive, but obviously limited in perspective. This person is not in the upper echelons of governance, nor are they privy to any of the machinations of saboteurs or the like. So they only know what the general public knows. So the history speaks mostly to the first Nessus Thanksgiving, the projects that were undertaken, and then he does cover sort of this underlying thread of discontent with governance and then strange going-ons and mysteries regarding Captain Duncan and the Sabotage Man.
When people
Yep.
plug into the Neuralink, is it selective what they upload, or is it just like brain scan and now it's in there?
To upload, you just think about what you want to think about, and but then you get a chance to edit what it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you get to,
So
you get to
no one's
preview. Yeah.
No one's being real cagey about not standing in line for the Neuralink, when it's their turn.
No one is being not cagey.
No one is being cagey about standing in line. Like saboteurs aren't like, no, I'm too busy to go upload. They're trying
It's
to.
not a zone of truth.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No. But it's exclusively. This guy is like the Diary of Anne Frank. It's the Diary of
Yeah.
Dr. Johnny Fever. It's just one man. He's documenting everything.
I was just curious.
There is one surprise to the project, which is in the process of documenting, he finds traces of files that were used by the conspirators to plan the murder of George Duncan, like deleted files that he knows they existed, but can't view the contents of because they've been deleted. So, but he doesn't know what to make of that.
Wait, what was deleted?
So remember how the dissidents used the Neuralink to communicate with each other secretly?
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. He finds evidence of that, but can't find any. Isn't able to glean any sort of information about them.
Cool.
I have a couple questions for updating the map. So we've got a ship crash and a rainbow. I think, Jamie, those are both yours that we could place somewhere if they happen somewhere specific.
The ship disappeared before it crashed,
Okay.
and it was never determined whether that was a thing that actually happened or a thing that was a visual hallucination.
But it was close enough to be recognizable to the people who witnessed it as a ship. It wasn't just like a shooting star.
That question got asked a lot for sure.
Gotcha.
But no, yeah, they claim specifically to have seen features of the ship.
And this is like the ship, like not just like do all ships look kind of similar, or this is pretty clearly they're saying it's our ship.
It would be unlikely for anyone else to be here.
And then some people went off to look at the rainbow. Right?
Starting another timey-wimey campaign. We're rewinding in time every season, and it just replays our ship crashing.
So you can put the rainbow wherever the rainbow should go. Say pink cloud. They did not have a rainbow shape.
Who's up?
I don't know. I think Matt just did the full assessment of Relk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then Andy-san. Summer is a time for production and tending to the earth. Start a project related to food production. Or summer is a time for conquest and the gathering of might. Start a project related to military readiness and conquest.
Okay. I'll do you better. Both. We have begun a project to create a stables for domesticating our catkin, which can be used as mounts. So we're also going to build some like saddles from leather taken from the catkins that we routinely use to eat with. This is going to take a full 6 weeks to build stables and craft saddles for domestic catkins. And then I get an action as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Um. The discussion question for the day is, what is the importance of creating weapons for our society?
There are predators afoot, gestures broadly at captive Relk, and also evidence of other sentience as demonstrated by the lean-to. And we need to protect what few individuals we have remaining, since we're down to like 94 now from 100.
Oh, yeah, I'd like, if we're going to be arming people, to have it be in the context of a military or militia that is sort of centrally controlled, so we don't split into tribes making war on each other. We know we don't know who exactly, but we know we have people with violent tendencies. There have been, these disappearances, looks like murders. Yeah, so I'd urge for centralized control.
Everyone, Bailey Quarters here. I think we have a great opportunity here to create the world we want to create, and I think that world could be nonviolent. So I vote no.
Matt?
Mm, we don't know what's out there. We don't know where the people guarding the relic went. We don't know how many more relics there are. We don't know, basically we don't know what's out there, and we have to be able to defend ourselves from threats. I mean, we're certainly not gonna be able to, like hospitality our way to a solution with dangerous predators.
Chairperson?
The introduction of weapons could lead our already violent society into a total collapse when these weapons become available to any old person. And what limited weapons we make available should be tightly controlled by a skilled force and used only in certified, pre-approved situations.
Did people feel like I summarized this right? Sort of need weapons to defend ourselves from hostile creatures, X2, centrally controlled only X2, and then one vote for a new beginning without weapons.
Yeah, I think that looks good. We have a project update. The open elections for a new executive leader are upon us. How does it go?
The Shadow Coup elects their charismatic frontman, Seamus O'Rourke. They do a whole bunch of campaigning for him. He wins by a vote of 48 to 29, compared to one of the other front runner being one of the higher ups in the military, who was in the chain of command, not like the executive officer, but a couple rungs below the captain, but demonstrated great potential. But Seamus wins. He is
Seamus
elected.
is allied with Wenger.
Yeah, Wenger and Bailey.
Okay.
But so as to not call attention to themselves by electing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But he definitely has his little shadow cabal of advisors.
Mm-hmm.
But as elected and in lieu of any sort of constitution or thing like that, he has final say on mass projects to be executed, projects that'll take effort and numbers of people
Mm-hmm.
and things like that.
Can I request that you come up with a name for his political party? Because the Conspirators Party is probably not what you want to go with. What guise does the party claim to be focused on?
Oh man, this is
You can think on that. Just
it's gonna take me a minute because I want it to be at least semi good.
okay, yeah. Just
but
let
I
me know
will.
when you do.
Yep.
Your card, I think.
Okay. Someone tries to take control of the community by force. Do they succeed? Why do they do this? That already happened. Or
Or it happens again.
I mean, right after an election is a good time for it to happen again.
Yeah. Or a headstrong community member decides to put one of their ideas in motion, start a foolish project. A foolish project.
Foolish.
They start a project to try to weaponize the stinky, incapacitating gas that sometimes comes through, which is their efforts are really offset by the fact that they get stinkily incapacitated every time they're in the presence of the gas. And so it's a lot of them trying to run around with plastic bags and containers waiting for the gas, and then immediately start vomiting and trying to capture gas in bags. This is going to take them 3 solid weeks of effort, since the gas is
Long,
kind
hard
of
weeks.
it's not predictable, so it's taking them some time. And okay, so now I got to choose something. I didn't think about that part while I was waiting. They are going to discover a electrium deposit about call it 2 clicks northwest of where the crash site was.
So we haven't been paying any attention to the abundance and scarcity thing, which I think is fine. We're keeping more precise track of all of our little things.
Mm-hmm.
But just looking at it, I think everything is in abundance.
Wait, how do you mean? Oh, because we've done projects
We've
for
done
them?
projects to solve, we have,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if energy is in abundance, but we have energy for the things we need it for.
Wait, what about
Water. I don't know. We could, there could be a project to like make it easier to get, but I'm assuming that people have just been walking those 10 kilometers with pails and stuff, and that's been working out okay.
That's a brutal walk.
Yeah, we could maybe do a better job of that. So that
Yeah.
one's still scarce.
Yeah, I mean this certainly isn't a lot of this metal, but enough to try and start doing some science on or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, look,
Sounds
this
good.
this guy has a handful of metal chunks up here somewhere. Well, is that not the crash site? Can we scoot all of this more centrally? Like a little beep. And put it here. It'll be more northwest.
Yep.
Someone can draw an arrow and write 2 clicks there or something. All right, next up, Daniel 2, which is someone new arrives who, why are they in distress? Or someone leaves the community who, what are they looking for?
Hmm. Yeah, so somebody new has arrived. Like an infant went missing, I don't know, maybe a month ago. And a let's see, an adult man has come back. Maybe like looks like the infant's parents, kind of. And he's stumbles back in and is clearly not in totally great shape. Isn't super verbal, but needs to be taken care of. Yeah, how's that sound?
Sounds good.
And let's see.
Please tell me this is actually a thing. Thank God.
Do they have any memory?
I started to search for fascist party names, and it popped up with fascist party name generator. And now fantasy name generator has a political party name generator.
Wow.
So
yeah, and I'd like to start a project to. I'm pretty interested in that womb thing. Maybe a project to do some science on that, see if it's connected to these disappearances and reappearances. What's going on here?
How long is that going to take?
6 weeks.
Science, the moss womb, or what do they call it? Yeah, womb moss. I was close. All right. No project updates.
The party name is the Unified Voice Movement.
Voice.
Nice.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
That wasn't one of the ones from here, but that was enough adjectives and keywords to...
You were able to cobble it together?
Yep.
Okay. Jamie.
Give me a card.
Card for Jamie, please.
Oh, sorry. I was giggling to myself at the Permanent Fascists Party, which was one of their suggestions.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
A little on the nose, maybe, but
10 of diamonds. You discover a cache of supplies or resources, add a new abundance, or a scarcity has gone unaddressed for too long. Start a project that will alleviate that scarcity.
Okay. Yeah, we were just talking about this. I think the water sitch is kind of the main unattended to scarcity.
Gonna build us an aqueduct.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ruben.
In the interest of time, would people want me to start giving the on deck person their card so they can think? Just because it's been 3 hours and we're not halfway through the deck yet.
I am beginning to feel as though this is a two sessioner.
Or we
Yes.
can just do that and keep moving at this
I'm
pace.
also beginning to feel as though I might like to take a quick break.
How many cards are left in?
I agree with both of these ideas.
Are we in summer? Started in spring, now we're in summer?
Yeah, we're probably close to the end of summer.
We've done 8 and discarded 2, so there's 3 more cards left in summer.
Yeah, let's break and then finish summer.
So nice to have a society where I have, plumbing and waste. My waste is handled for me. I was thinking about bringing up like latrines or
that's a good one.
Treatment as one of the issues. Like we've had all like 100 people just like pooping in ditches.
Abundance of
Well,
dumps.
Well, here at the Unified Voice Movement, we care about your needs and concerns, and we'll address them as soon as someone picks that as a project.
With a
We're gonna make the
unified
bottom
voice.
10% of performers eat everybody else's poop. Because that's what we all want, right? No, everyone's just afraid to say it. Everyone wants it. I'm just saying what we're all thinking.
I try feeding poop to the Panacea bugs. They love it, but now no one wants to eat the Panacea bugs.
Yes. All right. Yeah, I'll be back. Five.
Trying to design a flag for the unified front, but I don't know. I don't know if I love it so far.
There's got to be red in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's red. It's like red on black with some yellow in the middle.
Are we the baddies?
Governance, so it doesn't make them the good guys. I like how we just started with the scale on the thing being ridiculous. You got to put the forward to make it readable.
Yeah. Yeah.
We picture our import, like, okay, let's make that 40 times bigger.
Mm.
We could just Control A, make it all smaller, huh?
Mm.
Fuck
But
everything
then
up.
the text wouldn't
I think
scale down, and
that might be a bad scene. Yeah.
oh, no. dear God. Oh my, what?
Unified front, right?
Unified voice,
Unified voice.
all working together with one voice, one goal. 2 assassinations. One guy making all of the decisions.
I mean, he is the voice of the people.
Yeah, they're unified in him.
In him.
He is the unified voice.
So the idea is this is going to be used as a setting for a campaign.
Yeah.
Sweet. So like maybe leaving open.
We're just gonna get rid of this.
Yeah. And is that what this is designed for, or is this just designed as an activity?
Just a game, but I have seen what gave me the idea was that the Adventure Zone used it for the same purpose. So the only way I've ever seen it played is for this specific purpose.
Cool. So like, yeah, seems like leaving open threads is actually a good thing because it gives you something to work with and us something to investigate. Like we
Yeah,
shouldn't
totally.
shouldn't try and resolve things necessarily. Cool. Yeah, the discussion thing in that context it makes a lot of sense, but it seems a little weird if this is a standalone game because the discussions specifically don't resolve, right?
Yeah,
So
I
what-
mean, I think that's kind of like, I think the game is you're still supposed to leave open threads that then someone else can answer, you know?
Okay.
I feel like there's like a thing about this game is that like it seems like frequently people like tend to like tell their own stories, and like to some degree you're supposed to do that, like you start a project and then you finish it. But then, you know, the other way the game is designed is like trying to get you to like finish other people's projects basically through like open-ended discussion and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've relocated projects to our own.
Sweet.
Fancy.
You need a character token for Seamus O'Rourke.
Wait, who's that?
President Seamus
Ooh.
O'Rourke.
Figurehead.
Figurehead, or I don't know. I'm imagining like a
It's a beautiful day and I can't stop myself from smiling. If we're drinking, then I'm
Like a what?
and I know there's no denying.
Oh, we can't hear you, Andy.
It's because he muted to dance along to the Cabbage song.
my mic cable keeps falling out because it's terrible. Like a President Taft looking guy. That's what I'm imagining for Seamus O'Rourke. Thanks for the sub there, Schoolie.
You're welcome. I had to wait through 6 ads to press the sub button.
What? Oh,
Because my sub had expired, so I had to watch ads.
rough.
Yep.
Okay, so water problem. There are 2 projects that are created to solve the water problem. One is my question answer, and the other is my action. The first is that probably like a serious amount of excavation will be need to done to actually, you know, get the, you know, create like a stream or something that comes to our town. So that's going to involve repairing our mech suit, which a group of engineers will begin doing. The other thing is that who is the loser of the election?
A currently unnamed military influence or previous.
That was Veronica Mars.
Would have been like the second in command under the captain, maybe?
She was not the second in command. She was one of the, like, another rung below that, but was a real strong up-and-comer.
So Veronica's like, you know, we there's not really any reason for our town to be here, you know, and as we're starting from basically zero anyway, why don't we just build a town that's next to the potable water? And she just goes to do that. Obviously kind of not wanting to be a subordinate in this current town. So her and, like, you know, a handful of other people take some supplies and head to the water source and start building their own homes there. So repair, mech suit, 2 weeks, build, new town.
What are they going to call it?
I don't know. We don't have a name for this one either.
That's true.
And that's gonna be 6 weeks.
Crashberg. Oh my! Got you guys on a bigger monitor now, so people aren't in order. But I believe there we go. Matt is next. 5 of diamonds. A project finishes early. What led to its early completion? Or the weather is nice and people can feel the potential all around them. Start a new project.
I think the new town project is a resounding success. It turns out there are the cave system that's used to access the water has a number of habitable caves in it that are dry, good temperature, and also the dense forest above it has a bunch of like large trees that can easily be hollowed out. Like some of them had existing sort of hollows in them. And I guess maybe that some of the wild catkin we're using as like burrows, but you know they can be pushed out of those enough. So yeah, the new settlement is a resounding success, which maybe creates some resentment and or tension in the existing community.
The new town is being called Myos, named after one of the moons of this planet.
Cool.
How do they know the name of the moon of this random planet?
Because they named it.
Perfect.
Is it named after the town? Because the town's named Myos.
They named the moon first, from like their home planet, because they have big old telescopes or whatever.
MIOS.
MYOS. I spelled it and put it
I gotcha.
over there.
Okay.
Now your action.
Is
That was my action.
no, yeah, we're on,
Sorry, there was a project finishes early.
right.
All right, we're
So
on
now Matt's action.
Matt's turn now.
Cool. Now my action. So because I still have not remembered all the things, I can start a project, start a discussion, or take an action.
Or
discover
discover,
something.
Discover something. Yes, thank you.
which can be a complication or whatever.
Um,
If we feel like we're just crushing it right now.
yeah.
The DM in me keeps wanting to just be like, well, all the food dies or something,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's not really an action that like is like specifically like just fuck something up.
I mean, that is the discover. Like it says, you could find a pack of wolves that are like harassing the town or something like that. It could be that the Relks eat all of the local cats in retaliation for capturing one of their kin. Like,
Is that a
Hmm.
discovery though? I feel like that's a. Maybe it should be, yeah.
Oh, did the stuck rover ever get unstuck?
I think
Still
we
stuck.
no,
grabbed it for. I mean, we took the solar panels off.
Yeah,
it's now extra stuck.
but we did also research the Bibblemite stuff, or we have them growing,
Yeah.
so it could be hypothetically powered by that.
Okay, well, in the name of adventure, I guess this would be a project to continue exploring the local area. So, like, get the rover back up and running and then use it to just chart, because it sort of got this path between the two settlements, like, just sort of chart around, like, I don't know, maybe there's like a big volcano, like, right there that's going to wreck us all, or there's like a Relk breeding grounds, just to the left that might wreck us all, or there's a big moon that's gonna.
So what's your action? What's your project?
Project, explore local area. I'd say 3 weeks, so like a week to get the rover running, and then 2 weeks to rove around.
You do need to like create a new generator for the rover if you're
Yeah.
not using solar panels.
Oh,
The solar panels are
This
in
may be a
Crashburg.
multi-step. project.
Hmm.
You want to just explore a local area on foot, or
Yeah,
are you
let's
more
do that.
interested? Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like turn bugs into biofuel is its own like long project.
Yes. You get the same effect by just having the explorers smear the bug paste on themselves to feel very empowered.
Just take a bunch of drugs and just head out into the wild.
Okay, we have 3 projects wrapping up. Let's start with the exploration party to the end of the rainbow. They have resolved.
All right. They find a lake, and at the center of a lake is a kind of hovering metallic chunk of metal, which seems to be either projecting or reflecting this rainbow.
Mm.
They don't figure out how to, you know, learn anything about it, take any of the metal back, or yeah, figure out the mechanisms of how it works. But they do, you know, they're interested in the water source, the big lake. Draw that. Also, some of the party was crushed to death by what seemed to be a large sentient rock monster.
Whoa.
How many of the party?
4 of them.
Okay, down to 90 total people.
Should we do a BSG style souls counter somewhere?
Yeah.
Well, just trying to keep us honest because we've just been randomly, you know,
Killing people here and there.
subtracting people. Don't want someone to be like, and 40 people died. Be like, that was everyone else.
Okay, so lake with hovering metal above it in middle, causing rainbow question mark. And
Oh, I got that.
also 2. How many people?
4.
4
Nah.
of
Discovery.
party crushed by rock monster. Okay, sorry.
And I'd established that there were 77 people of decided voting age, so we're down to 73 now. And the other 17 are children, though I guess one of those turned into an adult.
You want to put that down on the board somewhere?
I don't.
I was gonna make a little death counter.
There.
Um,
Okay.
Been letting you guys touch
many-
Why don't you do a life counter instead?
Well, then I have to do like 70.
Well, you don't have to do a dot for every one. You could just use the Arabic numeral 74.
Oh, that's so lame.
Okay.
How many people have died?
74 adults, 16 children. Done. 288 font is the biggest that gets.
We've lost Captain Duncan, maybe. Saboteur. 4 people on this party. And
Some people got killed by the animals.
There were the 2 that got killed by animals, so maybe I'm off by like 2 or something. Someone got killed by animals, the adult and child wandered off, but then a child came back no longer being a child.
right. Okay, next project that has been completed is the full assessment of Relk. What did we discover? Matt?
Oh. What did we discover? Let's see. So, I think they are they rely primarily on smell, and like sharks and some fish, they have an electrosensory organ. So they hunt based on smell and based on like sensing the muscle discharges of prey, which gives us two potential avenues for dealing with them. One is if we can basically mask our scent or find something that's scentless to us but strongly scented to them or repellent. Perhaps the pungent gas pockets could be utilized for this. And the second is if we have a way of sort of conveniently generating electric fields, we could also potentially use that to noise them up. And what else did we learn? Oh, they similarly communicate through scent and like electrical discharges. And they are mostly what? Yeah, they don't eat the bug goo. They definitely eat catkin. And for the period of time we had one of them in isolation, while studying this one, we noticed that like the main camp hadn't been attacked by Relk, but maybe that's a coincidence. Who knows? And I think that seems pretty good for a first round of analysis.
Okay. And finally, the weaponized stinky gas project has been completed.
Yeah, the guy was able to trap enough of it in a box, go, hey, does this smell weird, and make someone throw up. But that was about as far as he got without an abundance of other technology.
Okay. Stinkiness confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thence, number 9, which is a project fails, which one, why, or something goes foul and supplies are ruined. Add a new scarcity.
Sorry, whose turn is it? Is this me?
This is you.
Okay. Project fails or
something goes afoul and supplies are ruined. Add a new scarcity.
Oh, okay.
If I was one turn earlier, you could have ruined the stinky gas project with the same result.
Yeah, remind me, we found the mech suit, right? That was not something that came on our spaceship.
It was on our spaceship.
Oh. Oh, it wasn't, and we just happened to find it and not start with it.
Yeah.
But it came on the spaceship. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then it's our technology, so that one works. Okay, yeah. There is a eclipse. And on this planet, eclipses last for almost a third of a year. And the eclipse has begun creating a darkness. It is now dim light on the entire planet. And sunlight is no longer in abundance.
Bummer. And the power goes out on all our technology, yeah?
At least the ones that were relying on the solar panel.
Which was
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah, true.
Right.
Nice.
Action.
Okay. The action is the unified voice movement sees the migration to Myos as a threat to their power, and they begin to form a military force of their loyalists to make sure that no one can leave their society and move to Myos. So the time it will take to train and arm, at least with like clubs and stuff, and like come up with a plan, will take 2 weeks. But they want it done ASAP because they don't want anyone else to leave.
Okay.
And they rename the crash site town to Seamusville.
That prick.
In honor of their dear leader.
Right, exactly. The first president of Nessus.
Okay, then for me, and wow.
Oh, I'm
doozy
sorry.
to-
I have an update on the project. The repair mech suit project is complete.
And
Yeah, so
unpowered. Unless it has its own remaining fuel source.
How's the bug tank?
What I'll say
I'm gonna
is
say it has its own remaining fuel source.
also
because there's no way
it's
that
dim
it's
light,
gonna get
not
plugged
total
in
darkness.
Anyway.
It's dim light, not total darkness. So with that, you can say that there is some power, just it's not abundant.
I'm gonna say this thing is gas powered. It's currently got a tank of gas, and obviously, like at some point, they'll have to figure out how to create gas on this planet. But for now, they are going to use it to
Gas-powered robot in a spaceship. What are they doing with the exhaust from it?
Well, they weren't using it on the spaceship. It was
Okay.
for here to do exactly what they're doing now, which is dig a
Got
well so that they can be so they don't rely on Myos's control over the water supply.
Okay, so it's repaired.
Yep.
It's gas powered and used to dig well in Seamusville.
I guess that doesn't happen because that would require a project to start,
I wasn't going to question
which
you
I can't do. Yeah.
since you're the DM.
Yeah.
I'm not the DM.
Okay, can I get okay, sorry, no, go ahead. There are no more project updates.
Outsiders arrive in the area. Why are they a threat? How are they vulnerable? Or outsiders arrive in the area. How many? How are they greeted? A group of 4 rock elementals, much like the ones that destroyed 4 people. 1 larger one and 3 that are like a third of its size. Like the larger one being like 12 feet-ish, and 3 of them about like 4 feet tall. Ambulate into the camp. don't appear to be openly hostile, so they are greeted with apprehension. But people are struggling to find a way to communicate with them after multiple failed attempts. The rock elementals go wandering off in the direction they came from.
Rude.
Start a project. Someone goes to follow them to figure out where they live. We'll call it 2 weeks. A week to follow them, week to come report back.
What is this icon?
I don't know.
Oh, that's
Angry raindrop.
Say again your project. So, how many people?
The project is, we'll say 2 people go to follow the elementals from a respectful but still probably a little bit of danger distance to see where they're going.
And you said 3 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okie doke.
That leads us to the end of summer.
And
Nice.
you said those were the rock elementals?
Yeah.
Can I get a clarification on when people went and formed Myos? How many people was that?
14.
14. All adults?
How many were children?
Yeah.
10 adults and 4 children.
Perfect.
And we sort of have 2 factions, right? We've got the Seamusites, or the
Nice.
Unified Voicers.
and the sort of the holdouts, maybe
The
from
Free Folk.
ship's staff. Is that so the Seamusites are definitely staying at the original site, right? The Unified Voice is basically
Yep.
the original site. Any characterization of who went to the other site? Is it like that faction, the sort of opposing faction that
The opposing faction was headed by the military person, so I presume it's a couple of
Veronica
the other
Mars.
military higher ups and some of their kids and loyalists.
Mhm. And are they still at the original site, you think, or did they depart?
They-
I think that could be determined by the completion of the project. We have like competing projects, right? One is like don't let anyone leave, and the other is like we should move here.
Cool. Never mind. I was just wondering if there was canon established on this yet. If not, we can make it up. as we go.
Everything's canon.
Yeah.
That's all
Wait,
this
didn't
game
I
is.
create a project to move to Myos? Did that
It
not
was
happen?
completed quickly as
It was
I think
completed immediately.
Matt ended that one like immediately after because of
Oh,
his
right,
car.
right, right.
It was like they found
Resounding
caves and trees to chill in for
Okay,
now.
so yeah, that definitely already happened then.
Yeah.
They're going.
Who are gone?
The
10 adults,
10 adults
and 4
and 4 children.
Oh, gotcha.
headed
Yeah, okay.
by Veronica Mars.
They live in
like
caves.
50% children, they're fucked. Unless they stick them in the goo. Or, sorry, the womb. Oh, we haven't wombed much.
Womb's coming right up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a project to throw children into wombs.
See what happens. Well, sweet. We calling it there?
I think so.
I think that's a good ending point since we're about on time.
Perfect.
We sure did generate some content.
Yeah.
So, how much XP did we all get?
So much.
DM?
Unfortunately, you don't have characters or classes yet, so the XP is just scattered to the wind.
Seamus unilaterally declares that he's level 3 now.
Mhm.
Not that that means anything, but he levels up.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, I originally said that the campaign would take place 200 years after this, but I'm so committed to this world now that like maybe it just starts right after this game ends. I don't know.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it either
Yeah.
way. I think there's a lot of like long stuff here.
Yeah.
Just
That's
however
just-
long it takes for you to
Weird. Yeah.
to undo all the ignorant shit we did and be like, okay, 4 years pass, this thing no longer happens.
Yeah.
This town's gone and the rainbow's destroyed. Okay, here's where we're starting.
No one's done any like outwardly troll things yet, which I'm kind of surprised by. Like in the Adventure Zone thing that this is based off of, they create a giant ship called the Biggest Baby. And the whole campaign, the DM, like every character in the world is just like, why did we name this the Biggest Baby again? It's a really stupid name. Should we change it?
That's because I'm taking this seriously and I'm invested in this world we're
Serious.
creating.
We got a
together.
real serious world here, boys.
If we
Yep.
did do it more in the future, then I feel like currently there's what, 2 settlements. I feel like there'd be, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe there's stuff to, more stuff to explore, but
There's a big world to discover.
there'd maybe.
Yeah,
be a
I guess
little
that's the main reason that I was thinking of doing that is to have humanity proliferate a little bit, so that you guys could go to a different town or whatever.
Yeah. Or like maybe it turns out that this is actually like we basically just like landed in like a golf course for another alien civilization that's like fully developed around it.
Yeah. Also, like to fill in the gaps of like where 5e would even come in. Like, if you want a paladin, like, or a fucking sorcerer, like, no one can cast magic right now, so like that has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We established that there are rock elementals. Like there is something.
So we're gonna do like 5e character classes with spells.
Yep.
Everything's reskinned as artificer inventions and gadgets.
It's a fireball gun or a
Yeah.
lightning gun.
Yeah.
I heard new Captain Duncan cast a healing word, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a lay on hands. What's up with
Yeah.
that?
Look, the guy's a fucking.
You could use a greater restoration,
The guy's a shape changer.
which is just the good drugs.
My next project is gonna be to flay him to see what beast hides underneath the skin of Captain Duncan.
A lot of flaying in the next